I was watching Game of Thrones recently for the second time for me, and well, it was the first time for my roommate. And every time I watch something, in the back of my head, I always try to see if there's something I can learn from this, if there's something I can take from this world or from the kind of writing or the acting that can be used in either one of my own D&D games or maybe in one of yours. And the thing that caught my eye in Game of Thrones this second time around mostly was the fact that there are like godlike entities in the Game of Thrones world or in the Song of Ice and Fire universe. You have the seven. These are mostly worshipped on Westeros, and although the series itself doesn't explain really how they work, either the book or maybe G.R.R. Martin himself has said that the seven are actually just one god, and the mother and the father and the warrior and all those aspects of the seven, all those different entities are actually just one, and they're also worshipped as one and also as seven, much like the Christian gods, but where they're three, in Game of Thrones there are seven. But that's not the only religion that's being followed. In Westeros, you also have the drowned god. The folk on the Iron Islands worship the drowned god, and only they, I think, at least in the series, there's no one else that doesn't come from the Iron Island that also worships the drowned god. You also have the Lord of Light. The Lord of Light mostly is the only god that has the most impact directly on the world. So people that follow the Lord of Light can set their swords on fire or set other things on fire. But the Lord of Light also stands for life and the opposite of death. So the followers of the Lord of Light, like Baron Dondarrion and others, have been known to bring people back from the dead. Spoilers for anyone who didn't watch Game of Thrones. There's one of the main characters also gets resurrected. So if you don't want to know that, please just go watch Game of Thrones because it's really good, and then come back to this video. So Melisandre is one of the priests of the Lord of Light, and she resurrects Jon Snow, one of the main characters. So the Lord of Light is one of those gods that has a lot of impact on the world, but also never shows his face or never explains really what he wants or why he works through some folks and doesn't through others. There are more gods, like you also have the god of death that's being worshipped by the Faceless Men. The Faceless Men mostly believe that all gods are the same and that the god of death is like the one true personification of all those gods. Like the old gods and the seven and the Lord of Light, they're all just different aspects of this same god. The same that the seven are all seven aspects of also one true god. If this is true or not is somewhat left vague, both in the series as in the books, and I think that's a good thing. Something you should copy into your own D&D world. I've seen a lot of people online who wanted to have like stats, like the monster manual has a lot of stats of different creatures and monsters, and also half deities and demons and devils, and so a lot of people online asked about, well, maybe we can also have a stat block for gods. I think that's sort of beside the point. Like, a god is not something you fight. A god is they're real, at least in the fantasy worlds, and if you believe in one of the religions of our own world, you probably think that your god is real as well. But I'm not getting into that specifically for this video. Don't think I'll ever get into that topic in any of my videos, but Who knows? But in the fantasy world, like Game of Thrones, like the world of Dungeons and Dragons, they're gods and they're real. And they can have an effect on their world through their followers and places that are theirs, like temples and such. What I'm trying to get to is that in the series Game of Thrones, the Lord of Light does a lot of things, but nothing is directly communicated with either the main characters or side characters. Like, they get visions. The Lord of Light speaks to them in some way. Like, they can look into the fire and either see a piece of the future or some person they have to save or have to kill or have to resurrect or something. And the Lord of Light does resurrect some people or help some people if he thinks that they'll have some use, like further down the line, somewhere in the future. I think that is the perfect way to introduce gods in your world. If you have a problem, or if you are having problems with how to put these overpowered entities into your world and how you would implement them, I think the way that G.R.R. Martin did it for his world is the most easy. At least the most easy way if you have a cleric in your party and you do want to give them something to roleplay against. Because the only other option really is to have your god as a real entity that can walk around and kill people on his own. And that opens up a whole other bag of cans. A whole other bag of cans, yes. A whole other can of beans, which you don't really want, I think. Because if there are gods just walking around on Earth, like, how would your players react to that? And how would the world still function the way it does if there are real gods just walking around on Earth? What I would do is just have them speak through various objects or various locations or through some people and grant minor boons and boosts and buffs and other words that start with a B, but nothing more than that, really. They don't have to explain why they're there. They don't have to explain what their real reason is for intervening or why they specifically help your cleric. They don't have to explain that. They can just exist. So that's it, I guess. I'm gonna cut down this video and take all the ums and ahs out of it, all the other stuff. I hope this was somewhat informative. If it was, please leave a like. And if not, tell me how I can improve in the comments below. Because I like to make more of this, but I just don't know how, really. I'll see you next week.